Good evening, and welcome to the 2019 graduation ceremony for Friends School of Mullica Hill. My name is John Bond. I'm the clerk of the Board of Trustees. Now, in the manner of friends, let's start with a moment of silent worship. Thank you. I would like to welcome the 8th graders to this special occasion. I'd also like to welcome the parents, the grandparents, siblings, the mayor, honored guests, teachers and staff, and my fellow board members, and everyone else who turned out here on this perfect night. With graduation today, we are on the precipice of our historic 50th anniversary. You are a historic class, and you are a part of our history. But you have so much more before you. Important achievements wait in high school, and then greater heights in college and the world. As you leave us today, I'd ask you to remember this day and this place. Remember the values and the lessons that you learned here. Simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, and stewardship. Thank you for being part of our history, and we look forward to hearing about the great events in your future as you go out and change the world. And now I'd like to introduce a longtime friend of our school, Mayor Lou Manzo.
This class is looking good, isn't it? Beautiful entry, beautiful. So as usual, and it is my great honor to be here tonight, as it has been over the last several years, to add to the welcome and greeting to this graduating class ceremony and the celebration. As always, I was able to spend one class in the civics class and got pilloried with questions, as I always do. They kept me on my toes, and as always, I'm so impressed with the level of maturity of these young men and women that come from this institution. This year it was a little special too, because on my way out, I was asked if I would stop at the third and fourth graders, I think it was, that had some questions about recycling, which I spent maybe 20 or 30 minutes there, and was, again, just endearing and wonderful. And about a week later, I received at my office individual thank you notes from each of the fourth graders, handwritten. I say this because it brings to mind something that I think is apropos for tonight's ceremony and where you've come from. It makes me think about a quote from Ben Franklin. Tell me and I'll forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I will learn. Well, that educational philosophy is clearly embedded here at Friends School. It's something that you can see in the students every year, and it's so impressive. And I think that what I'll say to you as you go forth in this next chapter of your journey is to keep that mindset of engagement and involvement that has now been the foundation of your educational experience here, because that is what you will bring to the table and give you the ability to change the world. And you will, if you stay involved and engaged. So congratulations and good luck.
So thank you, Mayor Manzo, for being part of our celebration here this evening. Your ongoing relationship with the school is one of the things that we value in terms of our ongoing connection with the community, and we really appreciate not only your presence here this evening, but throughout the year. So this evening we are gathered to celebrate with the class of 2019, to look back with appreciation for all they have accomplished in their years at this school, and to look forward in anticipation for all that lies ahead of them. In a moment, we will hear from them. We will hear their thoughts and reflections. But first, it is a tradition here at Friends School to invite someone who has come before them to share their reflections. Specifically, we ask an alumnus or alumna of Friends School Mullica Hill who graduated 4 years ago to speak about their own high school experience. After graduating from Friends School in 2015, Zachary Bogus went on to attend St. Joseph's Preparatory School in Philadelphia. It pains me to say that as a graduate of LaSalle College High School in Philadelphia, but I can overcome. And there he became involved in the football and track teams. Zach received first team All-Catholic and All-City League honors in football, as well as the prestigious Philadelphia Football Club Maxwell Award. Zach is a scholar as well as an athlete, as evidenced by receiving the National Football Foundation's Scholar Athlete Award, being inducted in the National Honor Society, and receiving the Summa Cum Laude Award on the National Latin Exam not once, not twice, but 3 times. Having graduated from the prep earlier this month, Zach will be attending Princeton University in the fall, where he plans on studying political science. So please join me in welcoming such an accomplished alumnus back to Friends School.
Good evening, everyone, friends, students in the 8th grade graduating class. My name is Zachary Bogus, and I'm from the Friends School class of 2015. And in September, I will be attending Princeton University, majoring in political science and playing football with the Tigers. So when Mr. Bradley contacted me to be the alumnus speaker at graduation, I quickly accepted the opportunity, and I was really excited to come back here because Friends School is really near and dear to my heart. Because I came to the school as a 7th grader, and I wasn't here since a kindergartner like all the other kids in my class. And my only real friend here was my younger sister, Madison. So the students and faculty accepted me and treated me as if I'd been in the school since a kindergartner. And now I'm grateful to have classmates that have become some of my best friends and acquaintances. And I appreciate everyone at this school because they're always so welcoming and accepting, as a Quaker should be. Friends School Mullica Hill provided me with the necessary tools and skills to succeed at the next level in high school and even in college. A portion of my college essay is even dedicated to my experience at the Friends School. So, in this very spot 4 years ago is where I had my first experience with public speaking to a large crowd as an 8th grader. Like you all, I was just as nervous as some of you are today. This first experience, after countless days of preparation, proved to be enriching and vital to me moving forward because it allowed me to express myself for the first time. Friends provided me with many more enriching experiences as well, which include new knowledge of technology, the Quaker values of the Spices, and the ability to step out of my comfort zone. So, from the trip to Peak in 7th grade with Teacher Peter, Wallops Island with Teacher Jason, and the Pine Barrens with Teacher Peter, I was always able to step out of my comfort zone and experience new things, like jumping cannonball style into the mud or falling out of the kayak too many times to count. They're definitely highlights of my 8th grade career, my career at Friends School Mullica Hill. And I can also recall the woodworking and bridge building clubs during advisory where I first learned how to build a boat and build toothpick models of bridges. So that was really cool for me, and it helped me to expand my knowledge and step out and do things that I never really did before. And new knowledge of technology came when I first received my iPad and friend's email account as a 13-year-old with no experience of anything of that sort. And I was taken aback because this is something that I felt like grown-ups had, and I was a kid that didn't know anything about this. So, I had to adapt to the style of teaching really quickly, which was difficult at times, but I always knew I had someone to help me and guide me along the way, like the teachers or Teacher Q, the technology teacher. Little did I know that this technology would come to great use when I received my own personal laptop and email for high school. So it prepared me pretty well. Friends School prepared me pretty well for high school. And, I was able to operate it successfully. As for the Quaker Spices, I always respected the values of the acronym because they centered me and allowed me to focus on being a better man for others. Simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, stewardship are the values that are ingrained in my head from constant reiteration. And I pay close attention to one, which is community. Friends School taught me the importance of community. And Friends School taught me the importance of community, sorry. And whether it be through participating in field day with the lower class, the butterfly parade, recess with the entire middle school, or meetings on Wednesdays, community allowed me to appreciate everyone around me and associate with them on a friendly level, which is why I never felt alone or undervalued at this school as well. After middle school graduation, I was invited into yet another community at the prep, and I cherished the school-wide interaction and brotherhood aspect there as well. Although without Friends School Mullica Hill, I would never know the true meaning of the word community. Friends School Mullica Hill provided me with the necessary attributes to succeed at the prep on and off the football field and the track. At the prep, I was a member of the National Honor Society, captain of the football team, and winner of the National Football Scholar Athlete Award, and a 3-time recipient of the Student Summa Cum Laude Award on the National Latin Exam. And I ended my high school career with a 3.6 GPA. So, so Friends was definitely the springboard to my success in high school, and I believe the continued values learned at the prep and at Friends will aid me in my journey to Princeton in the fall. The past 4 years have been very long with numerous highs and lows, but I would not trade any of the experiences and lessons for anything. I'm really nervous and anxious, to be honest, to leave for college in 3 months, especially a prestigious school like what I'm going to. But I know I'm well prepared and ready to begin a new chapter of my life. And my advice to all of you graduating from 8th grade here is just take advantage of everything. Like every opportunity, try new things, step out of your comfort zone, like I said in high school, and bring the same community feeling that embraced you at Friends to the high schools that you are attending. But remember that you are already blessed with the tools necessary to succeed from your time here at Friends Mullica Hill. Thank you all for having me, and congratulations to the 8th grade class.
Zach, thank you for sharing your story, your experiences, your honesty, and your encouragement for our graduates. You certainly are an excellent example to set forth for them as they move forward, and we wish you the best of luck at Princeton. Okay. So now at this time, we do have the privilege of hearing the thoughts and reflections of the class of 2019, and we will begin with Elijah Bradley.
Wow, has it already been 10 years? When I arrived here in 2009, I was 4 years old, and now I'm 14. Look at me now. Friends School is an amazing school full of great experiences and great people. When you send your child to Friends School, they get to experience hands-on learning in science labs and forests and travel to other countries and cities, and those memories will stay with them for a very long time. But most importantly, your children will have amazing teachers and classmates that they will experience these moments with. Some of my personal favorite trips were Costa Rica, Peak, and Camp Onis. I remember those trips like they were yesterday, ziplining and capture the flag at Camp Onis, hide and seek in the dark at Peak, or rafting and eating tropical fruits at Costa Rica. Those trips weren't just fun, they changed my perspective on life, the world, and what it had to offer. I want to thank my family, more specifically my mom, grandma, and aunt for helping with the expenses of the school and sacrificing their wallets to let me have an amazing childhood. They cheered me on at every musical, concert, World's Fair, and Maker's Fair I've ever done. And even though they were busy, my grandma or mom would always be there to support me. I love you guys. I've been here since pre-K, so all I've known is Friends School, which means going to a new school will be very confusing for me. My classmates here are almost like family to me. And I wish nothing but the best for all of you. And yes, I love you guys too. Some of you guys are quiet, some of you guys are loud. Some of you guys have no filter. Some of you guys are always nice, and some of you are always brutally honest. But that's alright, because everyone has some kind of good inside them. Sometimes people will see that, like we all see it in each other, and sometimes people might not. But you can't please everyone, so don't exhaust yourself trying to. I believe that sometimes people are brought into your life to teach you a lesson, and I feel like all of you taught me to trust myself and not be afraid to do what makes me happy. So thank you all, and Godspeed, my friends.
my classmates, teachers, parents, and fellow Americans. I'm part of the graduating class of 2019, and I've been at Friends School for 4 years. I remember when I first visited the school in 4th grade. I was Gavin's shadow, and I remember how teacher Patty introduced me to him, and we started talking about the LA Clippers. That day I felt so welcomed by everyone that I already felt like I was part of a great family and community. These 4 years have changed my perspective on reality. For example, before I came here, I never thought how important soil is to all organisms. But then I realized that I was a seed waiting to sprout, waiting to be nourished, and just needed the right soil to grow from. Now I'm inspired to do community service and plant more trees because of the school. I had a dream of shaping the future since I was a little kid, even though I never actually knew what I wanted to do. But the support from my teachers, from Teacher Matt to Teacher Sky, I feel like I had some direction for the next chapter in my life. They taught me facts and how to make things, but more importantly, they taught me how to think, and I will use their teachings to help me succeed in my journey. I always have to recognize my friends. We've had our ups and downs, but they always manage to put a smile on my face. From the jokes they shared to the time we spent exploring the world together on field trips, everywhere from taking a simple hike in South Jersey in the woods to a rafting trip in the river in Costa Rica. And I can't give enough praise to my parents and family members. They support me through thick and thin and give me the resources I need to grow and succeed in and out of class, offering words of wisdom to me every day to push me forward. They were on my back every day making sure I was doing my work and also worked hard to pay them tuition. There are so many people that helped me to get to where I am today. So all I can say is thank you and stay tuned for the next chapter.
Were you too fast? This is a question the Kahoot quizzes in class would always ask me when I gave an answer before I really read the question. While some days of my life moved slowly as a Monday morning without coffee, these 3 years of Friends School went by at the speed of light. I remember when I first arrived in 6th grade, we went to Camp Onus, and I immediately began making memories, playing hide and go seek with my new friends, creating inside jokes, and maybe tripping over a toad while it was dark, and then dying laughing after. Being a part of a small Quaker community had taught me that it can be good to stand out. With only 12 people in the grade, you can't just try to hide in the back of the classroom or not participate. Me being a shy kid, I never wanted to participate in my previous school because I was afraid I would embarrass myself. Going to this school taught me that giving the wrong answer or embarrassing yourself is okay. If you're not taking risks, then you're not really living, and mistakes are going to happen to anyone experiencing life. For example, the Costa Rica trip has definitely left a mark on all of our lives. From traveling for the first time without our families to the beautiful sights and experiences we had. If I hadn't gone upside down on a zip line, swam underneath a waterfall, or gone whitewater rafting, I would have missed out on so much. I also learned useful lessons, like the importance of listening, since Noah, Landon, Ever, and I almost fell out of our raft because we were just singing. I actually did fall out of the raft in the end, but that's not really the point. The point is that this community has changed me in a couple of important ways. I came to Friends School very timid and afraid to be myself. My friends had helped me through this journey and made sure I felt comfortable. Alana was one of the first ones to talk to me when I first came to Friends, and I'm very grateful that we are still friends today. I wouldn't be able to do it, but then Elijah Sadnick, I still remember in Teacher Peter's class when we had to map the world. I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to do it, but then Elijah sat next to me, encouraged me, and helped calm my nerves by telling jokes. In the end, I actually had fun with the project and was able to make a really good map. But it wasn't just Elijah. Every one of my classmates has made me laugh, from their voices during reading group to dancing behind the curtain during Shrek. I would also like to say thank you to my parents for sending me here. Since you've sent me to Friends School, I feel more open and able to express all my feelings, and I've made 11 really good friends. I would also like to say thank you to my cousin Liv. You have always helped me even if I was feeling down, and you also helped me control my excitement when I got worked up. Thank you. In conclusion, I would like to say thank you to everyone here at Friends School. You really made this experience a fun and meaningful time in my life.
Friends School has been the only school I've known since first grade. Imagining a life without the friends and experiences I've created at this school is inconceivable. The time went by so fast, but I've made memories that I will never forget. From first grade adventures with teacher Megan, to buying apples at ShopRite with teacher Debbie, to now being the leaders in the school. Everyone at Friends School has been so supportive and loving since the beginning of my time here. One important example to me is how this school made sure I was okay through my struggle with anxiety. Dealing with anxiety over the years has been very tough, but Friends School made me feel at home, which I am so grateful for. I would like to thank all of the teachers that taught me everything I know, and for putting up with my many, many late days. This school has taught me valuable life lessons, which have made me a better person. Now I know to live in the moment, appreciate the little things, and actually go to school on time. I would also like to thank my parents and grandparents for driving me to school, paying for tuition, and just dealing with me in general. I would also like to thank my brother. He didn't really do anything, but I'll just thank him anyways. Most importantly to me, I would like to thank my classmates. These 11 people are my family. They made school more enjoyable. Even though we got on each other's nerves, sometimes, we always had each other's backs. I can't thank them enough for being my lifelong best friends. All of them are amazing people that will be so successful with everything they're going to do in life. It's crazy to think that soon I won't be walking through these doors to go to school and seeing people I've known for years, but I will be entering the doors of Our Lady of Mercy Academy for high school. I would like to wish my classmates good luck and success on this next stage, and I know I will be taking my knowledge, memories, and love from Friends School with me for the rest of my life. Thank you.
I've been at this school, hold on. I've been at this school for 5 years. I'm sorry. I have been at this school for 5 years, and when I first came here, I was quiet and shy. I still remember being introduced to my other classmates and how quickly I became friends with them after learning that we had similar interests, and everything from video games to weird memes. Through my time at Friends School, I've grown closer to my classmates to the point that we are all like a family. Since we always care about each other, even though we can also make each other mad. This year has been an intense year. The work, the tests, the stress of high school, and teacher Brad always making us write essays. At the same time, this year has been extremely exciting. Costa Rica, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and doing digital and traditional art, and spending time with my friends. I could go into details on all the great things I've done here, but we would be here forever, so I'm going to spare your time and my voice. With all that out of the way, there's some people I want to thank. I want to start off by thanking my teachers and administrators for their encouragement throughout our time here. I also want to thank my classmates. My time with you at Friends School has been the most memorable part of my life. And even though we have made some questionable decisions along the way, we still stuck together like glue. You have shown over and over again that you care about me, my problems, and my successes, and I hope we can keep in touch. I also want to thank my parents and my dog for not only financially providing for me, but also supporting me throughout my life and putting up with me and my weird, moody teenage brain. Finally, I'd like to wish all my classmates the best of luck at their respective high schools. As for me, I look forward to improving my art skills and pursuing a career in art and game design. So to all my classmates and teachers, thank you for these wonderful 5 years at Friends School. I will miss you all, but know that you have shaped me into who I am today.
I walked into Friends School for the first time when I was 5 years old. I was upset because I didn't want my mom to leave, so she would stand right outside so I could see her through the tiny window in the door. I would look back 1,000 times until I looked and she wasn't there. Then I'd walk into the classroom and see all my friends and forget about my mom. From early on, I enjoyed going to school, which is not something every kid can say. Many children see school as a cold and unfriendly place. To me, Friends School has been like a second home. I remember a couple years ago when I moved to Texas for a year and a half. It was hard leaving all my friends at my school. Although I did make friends at my school in Texas, it didn't feel the same. So I didn't think I'd ever come back to Friends School, but when I was told I was going to come back, I realized how much I missed it. I miss having a small class and being able to answer questions or say what I want without being embarrassed. I miss the teachers who really cared, but mostly I miss my friends. Anyway, standing here now, it doesn't feel real. 10 years ago, walking into Friends School for the first time, the idea of graduating would have been unimaginable. I don't think I even knew what graduation meant. Alana and I would talk about how much fun it would be to be big 8th graders, but now that I'm finally here, I don't feel any different. I've definitely grown a lot as a person, but I still feel like a little kid. From picking pumpkins in pre-K to Costa Rica, it's been a lot of fun. I want to thank my mom for sending me to this school in the first place and supporting me financially. I also want to thank all of my grandparents and my aunt for helping me a lot, more so in the last couple of years with school and everything. I would also like to thank the Furlongs for picking me up from school and being like a second family. Lastly, I want to acknowledge my classmates for always being my friends. I'm going to miss you guys. Friends School has shaped me as a person, and I'm grateful for it. But everything is temporary, and I'm ready to experience new things. Now, I don't want to say goodbye, so I won't.
I've been at Friends School for so many years that I've been able to watch the school and my classmates grow around me. There have been many changes to the campus, like the Salem building being retired, or the big toy in the playground being upgraded. The most important changes that happened to my friends and me. We grew up and we became better and smarter people during our time here. It didn't happen all at once, but we can see it clearly now at the end. Along the way, we experienced some great times together, from the annual field day games with Teacher Bob to our Friday evening middle school activities like Fall Fun Day. But one of my favorite parts of being at Friends School was the field trips, especially Costa Rica and Washington, D.C. We saw lots of interesting things in the capital. My favorite trip was Costa Rica because it was nonstop action. From zip lines to rafting, to hiking in the rainforest and swimming under waterfalls. But apart from field trips, my favorite thing to do at Friends School was just to be with my friends. Running around with them at PE or recess is something that I always took for granted, but this year I realized how much I enjoy just playing. I also liked working on big projects like Maker's Fair. You can really be creative with your ideas, and World's Fair, where you can get to learn a lot about a country that you might not have even known existed. Finally, I would like to thank my parents for sending me to Friends School, not only for paying tuition, but also for assisting me in school projects, homework, and everything I needed to make it to this point. I will always remember my time here, and I'm grateful to everyone who shared it with me.
When I first got here, I felt like I was really small compared to the 8th graders. But every year, I got closer and closer until I was taller than half of them, which happened for me around 5th grade. But that's not really the point. What I'm trying to say is that I looked up to the 8th graders for the longest time until I finally became one of them. Seeing all the classes go off to high school every year got me thinking about how one day that would be me. And time passed, and then in the blink of an eye, the class ahead of me graduates. And now it's finally my time to be an 8th grader in the lead year of the school. Sorry. Everything I've wanted as soon as I got here, the cool projects, the great field trips, and really everything. When I look back, I remember how we would run around in kindergarten, crazy and bursting with energy. And while we still act like crazy kindergartners sometimes, occasionally, I think we've all matured at least a little bit and grown into a strong group. Last year, I was asked to use one word to describe the class of 2018, and I said Legos. Well, our class is a little different. We're like Jenga blocks, because sometimes, while we also rely on each other for support, we like to take some risks here and there, which can sometimes send the stack tumbling down. So yes, we made a few mistakes, but we learned a lot from them. When I think back on my friend's school experience, it's hard to believe that I came in as a 5-year-old kid from Michigan, looking just like my little brother does today. And now I've just turned 14 and I'm going off to high school. But if I could give that younger me some advice, it would be to enjoy every moment at this school because it'll be over sooner than you think, and to be grateful for the education that you can get here. We experienced once-in-a-lifetime trips, learned how to live Quaker values, and took advantage of our small class size to become a unified community. As my time at Friends School comes to an end, I want to thank my parents for helping me along the way here. They sternly but lovingly encouraged me to be better after getting a 23 out of 100 on the Counties of New Jersey test in 4th grade. They went to all my sports games, and most of all, they worked hard to give me the opportunity to attend this school. I would also like to thank the teachers here for taking time with all of us to ensure that we understand the content of our classes, for trying to keep us in line when we act out, and for all the other things that go unseen that teachers put into our education. And last but not least, I'd like to thank everyone sitting here next to me for making the journey fun along the way. Thank you.
There is always room in the heart for one more friend, said many quote websites who frustratingly refuse to tell me who said the quote first. That really exemplifies my year at Friends School. The quote, not the second bit. I came to the school on my first day in September knowing almost no one. I knew a few people from my shadow day, but that was pretty much it. I was really nervous because I hadn't been to a school building in over 5 years. I had been homeschooled by my mom since 3rd grade. I was very worried to start at a new school because I figured that everyone would already have their friends and there wouldn't be room for a new kid. I was wrong about that. From day one, I was welcomed not only by my class, but the 7th graders too. This made me feel better, but even though I had new friends, I still sometimes felt like an outsider. For a long time, I struggled with not knowing how to evolve those friendships. Only recently have I developed the courage to do things with classmates outside of school, which I might not have if I hadn't come to this school. But back to more pleasant stuff. In the fall, I played on the field hockey team, a sport that I had never played before. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but in the end, I'm glad that I played, as that was one more way that I developed relationships with my classmates. I even learned a new language this year, something that I had tried and failed to do in the past. I participated in stage crew for the winter drama, and I acted in the spring drama. I wasn't going to at first, but my parents encouraged me to act, and that was the right decision. Another memory from my time as a Friends School student that I'm sure I will never forget is going to Costa Rica. The experience that I had there, meeting the people, speaking Spanish, eating the food, seeing the landscape, those are all things that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I want to give a special thank you to my parents, who helped me get to where I am today. I also want to thank a few more people. To my classmates and friends who welcomed me to this school, to my teachers who had helped me achieve greatness this year by pushing me to do my best work, and to the rest of my family who sat through my field hockey games, came to my concerts, waited me to be finished with drama rehearsal, basically changing their whole schedule to fit what I was doing at school. Thanks. As I look toward the next 4 years, I hope you, all of my classmates, find something fun to do with your lives. I'll see some of you a lot, others I won't see so much, but I hope that we can all stay friends even through the tests of distance and time.
Hello, is this working? Okay. After graduating today and knowing I have at least 8 years of school left afterwards, I feel like I've only reached a sort of checkpoint, since we still have only been through about half of our school years. Nevertheless, I find it interesting that I've been here for 10 years, which is insane considering that's about 71% of my life. Looking back to pre-K, I can fondly remember the first time I walked into the school. It looked a lot different then, but I was busy telling my mom that she could leave and let me have fun at school. But briefly, I'd say that in my many years here, I've met many interesting people and have learned a lot about myself, which has shaped what I'm interested in and how I act around other people. I do feel like I have been able to be myself in 8th grade, even though that wasn't easy.
always easy for me in past years. And I see this as an absolute win because this is growth. Yet, despite all this growth, I've been among the shortest of the short for years, which is ironic because I've been doing pretty well on the basketball team for a little while now as well. Even though I was the leader on the team, I still felt as if there wasn't pressure to be perfect all the time in this school. And that goes for everything here. It always felt as though making mistakes were okay, so I could challenge myself without being afraid. Oops. It did take me a really long time to grasp this idea, that it was okay to make a mistake. But when I did, but when I finally did, I actually started making fewer mistakes. That's probably something I'll have to keep working on in GCIT though, because there's still room for improvement, as my parents can confirm. Speaking of parents, I'd like to thank mine for showing up to all my after-school activities, such as guitar, piano, drama, field hockey, basketball, and some more. They've tried occasionally to convince me to drop a few of them, but they knew it wouldn't happen. Despite those efforts, they've been very supportive and brutally honest at times, and I'm certainly appreciative of that. In conclusion, I'd like to say that I deeply appreciate the people I've met here and the time I've spent here. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
While preparing this speech, I was told I need to be brief, so that's what I shall do. Indeed, I promise to be as brief as possible, no matter how long it takes. So my friend school experience began in 2013. At the ripe age of 8, I entered the school where I spent 6 years, and those were a good 6 years. The friendships I made were some of the best in my life. This may be due to not remembering the ones before them, but in all seriousness, I will cherish the time I spent here forever, and if I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. But I know I wouldn't have come this far without some help. So all of you probably thinking, oh, here comes the obligatory, thanks Mom and Dad for everything you've done. But this is one of the most important parts of the speech in my opinion. Dr. Seuss once said, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it is a memory. While preparing this speech, I realized how much my parents helped me through middle school. To be honest, I might not have survived without their help. When I needed to get somewhere, they got me there. When the homework piled up, they made sure I completed it. I'd also like to thank my teachers. Alongside teaching me and supporting me in my learning, they were also forced to deal with me and all my delightful eccentricities. Lastly, I'd like to mention my friends, as they are what made school enjoyable. If I could describe my class in a single word, it would probably be alive. If I didn't enjoy talking to the people I see every day, then I probably would have felt like an outcast. And while the teachers would agree that I can be a bit too conversational, that's because the class is so vibrant and full of life that it's almost impossible not to converse. Every trip we go on, no matter how long the bus ride is or how bland the tour guide is, will always be enjoyable, always alive. There has never been a day where everyone is just down. Days where I feel down are instantly fixed by walking into the school. And I truly hope that continues in our lives. We should leave friend school as lights of joy and optimism in a world that so desperately needs it. I know I will, as I continue my educational career at St. Augustine Prep. I truly hope you enjoyed my speech, and if you didn't, I really hope you enjoyed your nap. Thank you.
Alright, so our ceremony is nearing the end, and I know you're all tired at this point, so I'll keep this short and sweet. No cliches, nothing too crazy or sentimental, I guess. Just a quick, simple speech. At least that was my plan, but it's a lie, so buckle up. This school's a pretty great place. From the dedicated teachers to my amazing peers. I have admittedly only been here for 2 years, however, I have learned more about myself in that time than, let's say, 10 years before. I look forward to going to school every day, which is kind of a strange feeling, especially considering the, how do I say that word? Idiosyncrasies? I think that's how you say it. Of my classmates. But after a while, I realized why I love them all so much. I'm a lot stranger. So anyway, this school has given me some of the greatest experiences of my life, and has pushed me further outside my comfort zone than, well, really anything ever before. From the amazing things I saw and did in Costa Rica, like zip lining and assisting the Bellbird Project, to meeting our wonderful government representatives in DC and just here in New Jersey. It's been an incredible time. I guess I should thank people at some point. So I would like to thank caffeinated tea. I mean, it sounds silly, but I'm serious. I really couldn't have gotten here in the morning without it. And I mean, I guess my parents too. There you go, Mom and Dad. They really cared about me and my education. Just the simple act of getting me to school in the morning is really impressive, as I am not the easiest to get going in the morning, let me tell you. I'd also like to thank my teachers, especially since Teacher Brad, because I had to get the speech past him. And all of the wonderful students, all the wonderful students I've interacted with from every grade, from drama to soccer to field hockey. I did do both, but not to brag, This school is filled with amazing people who I am very lucky to have met. And I guess I should start wrapping up now. So I figured I'd end with a little bit of wisdom. It's a very nice phrase. Let me see if I can say this right. Probably not. Prope scientia lege scuido. Probably assuming that that's something probably very profound, yeah. But no, it's actually just Latin for Bill Nye the Science Guy. So, that's according to Google Translate, at least. If any of you know Latin, I'm sure you can challenge me on that. So my point here is that not everything is as it seems. That sounding wise can't be much different than actually being wise. I may not seem very sad about graduation, but I really am, The friends I've made along the way have been some of the best I have ever had. And unlike Trey, I actually remember my previous friendships. So, so I hope I won't have to lose them all as we move forward in life. So, in conclusion, so long, thanks for all the fish. Without further ado, I sign off with my favorite parting words one last time. Have a nice day, everybody!
Well, thank you, each and every one of you, for the care that went into those speeches, and to Teacher Brad for helping them create those speeches, and for sharing your thoughts, reflections, and your humor with all of us. So as we approach the moment of awarding diplomas to each of you, I have the opportunity now as head of school to share my own thoughts and observations with the graduating class. And I will start by reflecting back some of your own words, the most important things that I heard you say about yourselves and your experience at this school. I heard you speak about the lessons that you learned, certainly from your teachers, but also from each other. You told us about the importance of taking risks and trying new experiences, about how you have become comfortable making mistakes because you know they help you to grow. You described your class as a tower of Jenga blocks, an excellent image. Perhaps more than anything, you spoke about how much you value each other's friendship and the bond that you have formed. We heard the words second family more than a few times, and you reminded us of the importance of laughing with and listening to each other, and you spoke about caring. These are all thoughtful reflections and wonderful attributes that will continue to serve you well in your high school years and throughout your lives. They are also very encouraging and affirming of who we are as a school. The mission of Friends School Mullica Hill calls on us to empower students to achieve their full potential and become responsible global citizens. Well, I expect that it is perfectly clear to everyone sitting here that you are empowered. Your charge now is to keep it going, to always strive to do your best, to help those around you, so that you can look back at the end of each stage of your education and throughout life and be able to say that you did your best work, were true to the persons you know yourselves to be, and helped to make the world a better place. Every single one of you expressed gratitude to your parents, to other family members who have supported you in your time at the school, and to your teachers who have given so much of themselves to you. I encourage you to continue to be grateful. not just at special moments like this, when it might be expected, but at all times. Being grateful is not only the right thing to do. Research has proven that acts of gratitude improve who we are. They improve our own emotional and physical well-being. So, you'll be helping yourself at the same time that you are doing the right thing for others. In keeping with the theme of gratitude, I'd like to shift our attention for a moment to from those seated on either side of me to the group of remarkable individuals seated in the luxury box seats here to my left, the devoted and loving members of our faculty and staff. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and myself, I would like to particularly recognize those who have reached milestone years of service at Friends School, and will ask them to stand when they are being recognized. So Sophie Ragone. Teacher Sophie is celebrating 10 years as a member of the faculty, but her relationship with Friends School goes back quite a bit longer, having started in Teacher Nancy's pre-kindergarten class in 1991. Do I have that correct? After graduating in 2001, Sophie went on to Westtown School, where her senior project focused on educational equality in American schools, and then on to Smith College, where she majored in Spanish and theater, are you listening? And helped new arrivals adjust to college life as the head of new students, all of which seems to have foreshadowed the roles that she now fills back here at her alma mater. An animated and passionate teacher, Sophie creates fun ways to learn Spanish vocabulary, from board games to fashion shows, and has earned the respect of her colleagues, especially those who fondly remember her when she was their student. Thank you, Teacher Sophie, for 10 years of service. And Debbie Rosansky also joined the Friends School faculty 10 years ago. And she did so having recently retired from a career with the Audubon School District. As Debbie will tell you, retirement did not agree with her, and she just couldn't stay away from the classroom or from students. So fortunately for all of us, Friends School had an opening, and teacher Debbie found a new home in which to continue sharing her pedagogical talents. While skilled in all areas, Debbie has a particular passion for teaching history, and she takes great pride in the depth of knowledge that her students gain. Docents at the Penn Museum are regularly impressed by the expertise of our young Egyptologists, who can also tell you all there is to know about Philadelphia's historic buildings. Debbie is also, you may not know this, a talented baker, who is appreciated by fellow teachers not only for her collegiality, but for her eagerly anticipated contributions to the annual holiday cookie exchange. So for your 10 years so far of service to Friends School, Debbie, thank you very much. So once again, many heartfelt thanks not only to those teachers that we've recognized who are celebrating milestone years, but to every member of our faculty and staff for your devotion to Friends School throughout this year and all years. And now for the moment that these 12 young women and men have been waiting for. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of Friends School Mullica Hill, John Bond, the clerk of the board, and I are honored to award diplomas to Elijah Gilbert Hakeem Bradley.
Good. Thank you.
Ever Anthony Zakoy Causey. Elizabeth Cox. Ilana Brooke Furlong. Lydia Charlotte Holbrook. Corinne Brianna Kells. Dylan Thomas McAndrew. Gavin M. Reed. Nathaniel A. Rodwell Simon. Noelle Ava Ross. Trey Sheely. And Landon Patrick Sullivan. So congratulations to the class of 2019. You are now as Teacher Judy and I told you during lunch yesterday, you are now no longer Friends School students, but now you hold the distinct privilege and responsibility of being Friends School alumni. So yes, that is a privilege and a responsibility because it does have certain expectations. We expect you to take all that you have learned and experienced here with you and to put it to good use in high school and beyond into whatever life path you follow. We expect you to continue to be grateful, as you've expressed today, for all that has and will be given to you. We expect you to continue to strive to achieve your full potential. We expect you to be responsible citizens and make a meaningful difference in your communities and indeed in the world. And we expect you to come back and tell us all about it. So at this time, I would like to welcome Audrey Moser to come to the podium. Audrey will be offering a tribute to the class of 2019 on behalf of the class of 2020. She is going to be followed by Teacher Bob Bergholtz, who will offer remarks on behalf of the faculty. At the conclusion of Teacher Bob's remarks, the graduates will recess back up the path that they came down, and everyone is invited to join them for refreshments out in the back area. So now, Audrey, welcome.
My name is Audrey Moser. I'm a 7th grade student here at Friends School Mullica Hill, and I was fortunate to be given the opportunity to speak about the class of 2019 at their graduation this evening. As some of you may know, I'm a new student this year. When I first started here, I didn't know many people, but the 8th grade students made me feel extremely welcome. You talked to me at recess and lunch, and drama, and even outside of school. You introduced me to a completely new environment and helped me to become more outgoing and feel more comfortable around everyone. Despite our grade difference, I really do feel like a part of your class. The warm kindness and sense of humor is what the class of 2019 will always be remembered for. It's crazy to think how close I've become with this group in such a short time. Although we don't have all of our classes together, the time I do get to spend with the 8th grade has been unforgettable. On school trips, during drama rehearsals, or even just passing in the hallway, You always brought joy to me and the rest of our community. Just a week ago, at the middle school dance, I was having so much fun with all of you when it really hit me that next year you will all be somewhere else. But while it's so sad to see you leave, you're taking another step towards your future, and I want you to know how much I and everyone will miss you and how proud we are of the people you've become. You all made my year here at Friends School great, and I wish you the best of luck in high school. I hope that you have fun and make new friends while remembering the time you had here too. On behalf of all of the students at Friends School, I want to thank the class of 2019 for making such a positive impact on our communities and for being such great friends.
Dear parents, family, friends, distinguished guests, alums, teachers, staff, and the graduating class of 2019, good evening. I am honored to stand here representing the faculty and staff in acknowledging and honoring our graduating class. I am even more excited that I was given this opportunity to prove that as a physical education teacher, I own other clothes than just sneakers, sweatpants, and sweatshirts. Speaking of apparel, I'm always impressed with the fashion our graduating students display on this special night. I had looked in my old photos and found my 8th grade graduation picture, and let's just say we should all be grateful that the fashion trends of the early 90s stayed in the 90s. Can you guys imagine how some of your teachers dressed for their 8th grade graduation? Rumor has it, Teacher Peter's love of bow ties started on his 8th grade graduation. Yes? I am a coach, so it was a natural fit for me to come up with a game plan for my speech tonight. My thought was to focus on some advice I could pass on as you leave the nest of Friends School and head off to high school. I thought back to my time as an 8th grader and what would have been some things I would have wanted to hear. So I thought, and I came up with 6 pieces of advice I think would be helpful to you as you head off to high school. But then I realized I'm an adult who teaches at a Quaker school, and your parents and families are here. So I had to eliminate a few of them. I narrowed it down to just 3. And if you want to hear the other 3, maybe when you graduate high school, I'll share those with you. But I think these are 3 key pieces of advice I think should help guide you in your next journey. Number 1, pump the brakes. Now, you're not quite old enough to drive, but I'm hopeful you understand the reference to slowing down. There is a tendency at this stage of your lives to want to become as older as quickly as you can. Pump the brakes. I am reminded of a birthday card I received on my 16th birthday from my Aunt Riri. In the card was the line, "Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Changes come around real soon. Make us women and men." Those music fans in the crowd will recognize that line as lyrics from the song Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp, or John Cougar Mellencamp, whatever he was being called at that time. For some reason, that line struck a chord with me, because before you know it, you will be thinking about colleges. Then it will be trying to start a career. Then you might want to settle down, and you'll have to plan a wedding and decide on things like the color of table covers, what font to use on the invitations, and should we invite all the cousins, and where do you want to go on our honeymoon? I mean, come on! And I didn't even mention paying bills and a mortgage. Please note, my fiancée Caitlin, who is in attendance the evening, approved the previous topic. If I only noted to all of you that in no way is that my honest opinion of my upcoming wedding nuptials, but simply stated for dramatic purposes only. Advice number 2, trust the process. I know this is a phrase that many of us here tonight have heard over the last few years, but I'm not referring to the accumulation of assets and second-round picks in an effort to trade or acquire better players and then lose in the second round of the playoffs again. What I am referring to you is to trust what you have learned during your time here at Friends School Mullica Hill. Look over here. See that fine group of educators? Sitting there is just over 250 years of teaching experience. Almost 100 of those years coming from Teacher Glenn alone. As you get older, you will be given more freedom and independence, which inevitably may put you in some tough situations, maybe academically or socially. But don't be concerned. Trust what you have been taught. You see, what makes Friends School Mullica Hill so special is not the quality of the education you have received, but the tremendous depths your educational experience has reached. Your teachers have prepared you for your next chapter. Trust the knowledge you have been given, and don't be afraid to lean on it when the time comes. Number 3, be thankful and say thank you as often as you can. This is one that I always had trouble comprehending, but I eventually understood what my parents were trying to instill in me. Thank you. It's just 2 words, but it's 2 words that can be very powerful. Thank the people responsible for you being able to attend a school like Friends School. Thank your teachers for passing along the knowledge they have given you. Now, I'm sure after this speech, the first thing you will do on the car ride home is say, thank you. But that would be cheating. Do it when someone least expects it. Do it even when you think it isn't necessary. I received a thank you in an email the other day for simply doing what I love, and I was touched to have received it. And keep in mind, thank yous don't have to be simply verbal. One of the things I love to see is former students coming back to visit, many who are here this evening. Whether it's the Fall Festival, a school play or musical, sporting events, or just happen to be in the neighborhood, your presence as a former student coming back here is a thank you. Don't ever feel you're too old or too cool to come back to Friends School. With that, let me offer my thank yous to the graduating class coming from the perspective of their physical education teacher. Elijah, thank you for your passion for PE. I'm grateful for you always bringing your enthusiasm with you to class. Ever, thanks for always taking the crazy shots in whatever activity we were playing. Don't ever hold back in the future taking those types of chances. L, thanks for sharing the results of your cheerleader competitions, and as a proud Camden Catholic alum, myself putting up with my constant Paul VI jokes. Alana, thanks for being my favorite furlong sibling. Oh wait, is Josh here tonight? I forgot he might be here. But seriously, thanks for your always positive attitude in class. Lydia, thanks for almost always being the goalie. As if being the goalie for the field hockey team wasn't enough, your classmates relied on you to be the goalie in many of our games. Your reliability was appreciated. Corinne, thanks for your taste in good music. Our class was more energetic because of your quality music selections, and it was nice to have at least one student who could appreciate good music. Dylan, thanks for always providing the light bulb moments in class. You always seem to be the one who could provide the answers to obstacles or challenges that happened in our activities. Gavin, thanks for being the gentle giant in class. Your athletic prowess is well documented, but your ability to make your teammates better when they were on your team speaks to your outstanding leadership abilities. Nathaniel, thanks for coming to Friends School and being part of our school and community. I'm only sorry it couldn't have been longer. Your constant display of sportsmanship will be missed. Noel, thanks for always displaying that famous Ross grit and determination. Those are strong attributes that will serve you well in the future. Trey, thanks for your exuberance of energy in class. I'll miss your funny sayings after you scored a basket or a goal. Don't ever lose that huge smile. Landon, thanks for coming out and joining not one, but 2 sports teams here at school. Your willingness to try something new inevitably will lead you to big things in the future. And finally, thank you to all of you here this evening for your support of Friends School Mullica Hill and the graduating class of 2019.